Welcome back to my podcast, From Scratch, where we talk about the truth and nothing but the truth, okay? This is season 2, episode 10. Yes, ending another season already. It's just beyond me. It's crazy. Speaking of, we're going natural with it today. I have been meaning to do my podcast videos, y'all. I done had 2 other styles and still had not did my video. And somehow every time I become fully natural, I mean nails, no lashes, no extensions, I always get the courage and the inspiration to do my content. So maybe this is what God wants y'all to see me like. Maybe He wants y'all to see me like this because there's no way I just had my hair done, my nails on, my lashes on, and I didn't even do any type of content, not even my content on Instagram. So I guess this is how He wants y'all to see me. So love it or hate it, it's the real, okay? So today's video topic is going to be I've become mean. Now follow me. Follow me with this, okay? It's not going to go into the depths that you guys are thinking right now. So let's just hop right into it and we going to see exactly and uncover exactly what I mean about how I've become mean. So people have called me mean because I stopped chasing. That's number one. I stopped chasing. I stopped over explaining. I stopped people pleasing. I stopped tolerating things that I was not okay with. And I stopped being the one to reach out to everybody and be the glue that holds the relationships together. And from that, I've been labeled mean. I'm the villain in the story right now. And you want to know what? I'm going to tell you why that's okay for me. It's not that I became mean, it's I started respecting myself. Something in all 24 years of living I have not done. I used to let my self-respect slip through the cracks on the back of others, of me trying to make others feel okay. I ultimately learned to not abandon myself like I was so used to doing, unintentionally. So apparently, I've become mean. At least that's other people's opinions. Hey, I don't think it's me being mean. I think it's me respecting myself and not people pleasing. And a lot of people don't like that. One day, I just woke up and I realized how much I really was overextending myself to the next person and not to myself. I was always the person calling and checking on everybody. When I stopped doing that, some people reached out to me and like, whoa, like, what happened? Why you haven't been calling me? And it's like, the same way my phone works and call you, you could call me. Why do I always have to be the one to check up on someone or to check up on you and be the therapist? Or every time I do check up on you, I'm having to be a therapist and not really even engaging in conversation of how I'm doing. It's always about how you're doing and what you're going through. So I stopped calling. And when I stopped calling, you better believe they was like, what you got going on? Are you cool? And yes, I'm very cool. I'm very happy. I started choosing myself. I stopped fixing tension. If you're not grown enough to say you have a problem with this, and that without it being an argument, I don't want nothing to do with you. Because me personally, I was always the fixer. I was the fixer upper. You're upset with me. You have tension with me. I'm going to say something about it and hopefully we can resolve it. Now, you got tension, babe. I'm going to just let the tension be there because if you don't want to address it, why would I put all of my energy into this conversation when you don't even care to have it? When you stop fixing the tension, people realize that they are actually the problem. And I'm such a healer. Past relationships, I used to try to heal people. Past friendships, I used to try to heal people. People childhood trauma, I used to try to heal them from it and just let them know that there's more things to life and there's more life out there. I stopped doing that and I started pouring it into me because ultimately, for one, you can't pour from an empty cup. For two, if you're the person that's always trying to resolve it, what does that tell you about the people on the opposing end? Do they care about you how you care about them? And ultimately, I just had to come to that realization, like, people don't care to fix it. So why are you always so eager to jump ship and try to fix a situation? Especially if I felt like I didn't cause it. But whether I did or didn't cause it, I was always quick to people please, quick to jump to try to fix the tension so there was no more tension. But you have to do the work within yourself. You're steady having a problem with every single thing I do, every single thing I say, it's always something. That is showing and pointing fingers back to you. And when people start realizing that, I think more people would get on the wave that I'm on of not even trying, because it's not that deep. It's really not. And I stopped always making myself available. I could be busy, guys. I could be doing something, have a whole day planned, and I will stop what I'm doing to answer this person's phone call. I will stop what I'm doing to send that text message to them to let them know that, hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, I love you. Hey, I want better for us. And when you notice that it's not reciprocated or it's not appreciated, you really stop. Because I came to a point where I felt like it wasn't appreciated, because I would have so much stuff to do and I would stop doing what I was doing just so I could take that phone call. And it's like, you called me with some bullshit, not even knowing I'm at this doctor's appointment, because I only get one day to be able to get all of my doctor's appointments out of the way with my schedule. And it's like, I put my life on hold to help you, and you don't even appreciate it, because you're calling me with mess, you're calling me to complain, or you're calling me to not even have a productive conversation, or you're calling me with drama. And that to me shows me that you don't appreciate my time. Just me personally, that's how I feel when people call me with nonsense, or when people call me without even asking about me, you know? Now, the conversation doesn't have to always be about me, don't get me wrong, but in some point of the conversation, if I'm reassuring you and making sure you're good, and you don't even have the thought to ask me or to reciprocate that loving to me, what do we have to talk about? So why would I keep maneuvering and answering and being available to you when you don't even care about me as deeply as I care about you? So I stopped. I just ultimately realized I was putting too much energy into maintaining relationships, even when it wasn't being reciprocated. And after a while, I just had to stop that, because it's taking my energy. I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm only ever pouring out and losing. Like I said, I stopped calling. I stopped initiating everything first. I stopped being the friend saying, oh, y'all want to hang out this weekend? Y'all want to go out to eat this weekend? Y'all want to do this weekend? I stopped calling. I stopped being the first to do it. Because if I'm the only one pouring into the relationship, you don't have to do anything. It's just like being in a monogamous relationship, or being in a relationship with one another, and you're always the person trying to fix the disagreements. If you're the only person trying, why would I continue to try myself? Because you're showing me with your actions that you don't care about it or love me as deep as I care about and love you. I started noticing uneven efforts and patterns. I started noticing who calls me or who checks up on me intentionally without any regard of anything. They're just checking on me just because they love me. I started paying attention to those people and putting my energy into those people. And when I stopped giving that energy to everyone else, I ultimately was deemed as mean or the villain in their story, because I took my energy where it was appreciated. Sometimes you really don't realize how one-sided things are until you stop carrying them. You don't realize how heavy something is until you let it go. And that's kind of the realization that I had with myself, and I became labeled as the mean one, the one that doesn't care, the unemotionally available one. And it's just like, I'll take that. If that is what I have to be called to pour into myself and appreciate my own time and energy, I'll take that. And you should too. People always try to make things negative when you stop doing something you were doing forever and nobody appreciated it. They're going to always make it negative if you choose yourself. And that's the bad part about society. I hate as a whole that people don't realize what they have until it's gone. And then they want to label you as the bad person because you eventually stop trying. I just don't get that. I still to this day don't get that, but I do know that I had to choose me. And ultimately, I hope you choose you. And this one really made the people go crazy. When I started setting boundaries, girl, when I started setting boundaries, that had everybody in my life in an uproar. Boundaries make people uncomfortable. Choosing to honor yourself makes people uncomfortable, especially when you made it your due diligence to make them comfortable in the past. I started saying no. I started pulling back. Like I said, I stopped always being available, answering the phone. I stopped always being available, hanging out every weekend. I started pulling back. I started protecting my energy. If I was upset, I'm not talking right now. If we just had an argument and I don't have the good faith in me to resolve this, I don't want to resolve it right now. Let's wait until I'm clear-minded, level-headed to resolve it. If I feel like I don't like your energy at this moment, I'm not going to be around it. I started protecting my own energy. And then ultimately, I stopped explaining myself as well. I let people think whatever. My siblings always joke like, you can say whatever about Kim, she just gonna let it ride, and I will. Because why would I waste my energy trying to explain to you something you already believe about me? Or why would I waste my energy trying to explain something to you when you're not even going to listen? You're listening to respond. Why would I explain myself when God already seen the truth? He's seen what happened. Why would I explain myself? Stop it. Stop explaining yourself. That right there, that will take you so much further than you ever thought you could go. Not explaining yourself. Let people think whatever. And it's really hard to do, but you master it eventually. Because it wasn't always easy for me to let people say that I was the reason that my maid family was split apart and stuff like that. But after a while, I let people tell their side of the story, and they never heard mine. Some people don't even care to hear your side of the story. So why explain? People get used to the version of you that had no boundaries. So when you start setting boundaries, it's very hard for them. It's very hard for them to eat that. It's very hard for them to realize that she's really not going to let you cross her boundaries anymore. When you start setting boundaries, you have to keep those boundaries. Don't just set them because it's an aesthetic. Don't just set them because that's how you feel in the moment. Set boundaries with intention and make sure you don't let people cross the boundaries. That's where it becomes from good to great. And I realize growing changes my availability anyways. I need more alone time than I ever needed before, especially dealing with a child going into 2 years old. Them terrible twos be terrible before they even turn 2. So I be needing more time for myself now. I be needing more space for myself now. I be very intentional with who I have around me, what I interact with, what I put in my body, what I put on my skin, what I look at. I became very conscious of a lot of things in this world. And I don't let anyone just have constant access. You have to taper things off if you want to be able to control your environment. And it's not about control, but it's about being able to know yourself. You have to know yourself to control the things you don't like about yourself. But you have to first want to change for the better. So if you're in a season or a space where you like, I don't want this for me. I don't like this for me. I don't like the friends that I have around me. I don't like the relationship that I'm in. You have to want to change yourself first before you can detach or break those bonds that you have, because it goes deeper than surface. roots grow under the ground. So roots grow inside. Those feelings, those insecurities, those everything that you don't like, it grows with inside and it festers. Like roots run deep. So you have to first initially want to change for the better. Then you start implementing things. Okay, let me protect my peace. Let me set some boundaries. Let me cut this person off eventually. I hate when people say, it's so easy to cut people off. All you have to do is just leave. Or if you're in a relationship that's not good for you, and people say, all you have to do is just leave. Coming from experience, it's not easy to just leave. Now, I left, but it took me 2-3 years to leave. So anybody that's going through anything of the nature where you feel like you want to leave, whether that's family members, relationships, anything that's just going against your morals and mental health, don't feel rushed and don't feel pressured of people just saying just leave, because I know it's not that easy and they know it's not that easy as well too. So if you feel pressured by someone and they're saying just leave, or feel pressured by yourself to leave, take the first step, recognize patterns, and recognize what you do and don't like anymore. Because I always say the strongest level of love is loving every version of the person you're with. You're not going to always be the same person. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm definitely not the same person that I was in high school. So loving comes with loving that person in different phases of life. And I'm going to just leave it at that. That kind of went off what I was talking about, but maybe someone needed to hear it. But like I was saying, I don't even have the same access to myself as I used to have. I cut off a lot of stuff. Like I said, I used to club all the time. Granted, last weekend I did go to the club, but I definitely could tell that I was different. Like, I was way different than a person that used to club constantly back then. I haven't been to the club in so long before I went last weekend. And that made me just like realize, like, dang, like you really have changed. I don't give myself the same access that I used to back then. I don't just scroll endlessly all day like I used to back then. You have to change habits before you're able to change yourself or anybody else. And like I said, from these revelations and from these convictions and from me actually changing myself, I've been labeled the villain. I've been labeled mean. And guilt sometimes comes with that. Like I said, I'm talking all of this good stuff and I actually do put it into fruition in my life, but it's not easy. It's not easy. No, I don't want you guys to ever think the stuff that I talk about is easy. I just bring it to people's attention to give you somewhere to start. But it comes with guilt. Sometimes. Me personally, I sometimes have guilt. And I talked previously before, I mourn my old self sometimes. It happens. Sometimes I feel guilty for changing. Sometimes I feel guilty for not answering the phone. Because sometimes it'd be like, dang, what if this was life or death? You know, sometimes your brain try to play tricks on you. Sometimes I feel guilty for wondering if I'm just like becoming too cold, if I just become like too regulated. Sometimes I question myself as if I'm being too much. When I know where I have been, I know where I have come from, and I know where I want to go. So you can't let your mind psych you out. But I'm saying this just to say it's not just a walk in the valley. It's not easy. You will have where your mind is at war with you and your new feelings or your new self. Sometimes you just have to remind yourself, as myself, I do this as well. Boundaries is not cruelty. Those are not the same things. So don't get the wires crossed with that. You're not being cruel. You're being disciplined. And then I had to just bring back clarity and realize I'm just choosing myself. As much as people call it mean, as much as people call it standoffish, you think you too good, you think she uptight, with all of that negativity, it's really just you choosing yourself. And like I said, Some people don't like that. But God will bring you the people that are on the same type of spectrum as you, on the same type of level as you, and have the same wants for themselves, that they have the same desires. He will bring people around that are like-minded. So don't be discouraged. Choosing yourself is a beautiful thing. And it's so beautiful because most people don't choose themselves. So if you take the time to relearn yourself and actually start to choose yourself, hats off to you. Because it's not easy. And it's not applauded. It's not something that people celebrate. And it's sad, but it's not many people like us. So good for you. You go, girl. You go, dude. Because it takes a lot. You choose things like reciprocation. You choose things like self-awareness. You choose things like self-respect. You choose emotional maturity and balance. And that's a reward that can't get paid for. Like, that's happiness and peace to me. You know how people say that's wealth to me. Choosing yourself, that's wealth to me. I stopped abandoning myself and just made other people uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, that's a you problem. So with that being said, maybe I did change. Maybe I did become more selective, less available, but I don't think mean. I think I finally learned that constantly pouring into everybody else while neglecting myself is not kindness. And if that's your definition of kindness, we're probably not aligned the same. And don't forget, everything big starts small, even self-awareness. That is all I got for this video. I hope it really touched someone. And if you know someone going through these same things, same feelings, battling their mind, please send this video to them. Give them a reminder that they are not alone and that you got their back. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's comment, build a little community. And don't forget, I love you guys and Jesus loves you too. Bye.
Baby, do it.